You ever noticed when you're going to a very familiar destination, a place that you've been 100 times? Maybe you're on the bus on the way to school, maybe you're in the car, you get in, buckle your seatbelt, you find your seat, next thing you know, you're there. You ever notice how that happens? Just automatically? Well, what we don't realize when we're on that trip is we're actually talking to ourselves. During that time, we're having a conversation with ourselves. We're talking to ourselves about school. We're talking to ourselves about the challenges we have with our mom at home. We're talking to ourselves about our friends. We're having a conversation with ourselves, almost like we're watching a movie. I want you to think about the things that we say to ourselves. And I want you to write down the negative things that you say to yourself. And I'll give you guys just a minute to do that. All the drama in your life of a bad attitude, all your fear of the future, all on this piece of paper. Reminds me of a story. It's a story about this couple. They're a real big fan of the circus. They love going to the circus. They love the animals, the trapeze artists. They go to the circus one time, and they enjoy the show, and they're just mesmerized by these elephants. These elephants are big enough to crush a house, but yet they're so calm and serene. So they decide they're going to go backstage, and they want to take a look at these amazing animals. And they found something very, very curious when they got to the elephant. The elephant was held by a small rope tied to a stake. And they thought, that doesn't make any sense. This elephant could yank this entire tent down, yet it's held by the stake. So they said, we got to get to the bottom of this. So they went and they found the trainer. And they said to the trainer, sir, couldn't that elephant just rip that stake out of the ground anytime it wanted? The trainer said, absolutely it could, but it won't. And the wife says, how is that possible? Well, the trainer told them, when elephants are born into captivity, as soon as they're born, they're taken from their mother. They're not given any food, any nourishment, and they're tied to a tree. They go off and they pull and they tug and they wail and they scream and they holler and they do everything they can do to try to break away. After a short period of time, the elephant gives up and realizes that it can't break free, and it just stops. Immediately, as soon as the elephant stops, they go to take the elephant, they take it back to its mother, they give it food, they give it nourishment, and the baby elephant grows up, all the while having that rope around its leg. See, that full-size elephant is being held captive by the memory of its past pain. It's being held prisoner by the frustration of its past. It's being held in bondage by the thought of, I give up. Now, friends, as we think about the stuff on this piece of paper, this represents the rope. This is like the rope, and you guys are the elephants. How many of us are done being held captive by the garbage on this piece of paper? Think about what is on it. Think about all that it means, and think about all that it represents. And remember today. Today is the day that you made a commitment to yourself, that you're going to start a revolution, and you're no longer going to be held captive by the mistakes of the past. So everybody with me, take your piece of paper out. All right, we are free.